In 2021, I closed over $360,000 in GCI just for my YouTube channel. In 2022, I'm on track to do over $500,000 in GCI by the end of the year. This is all from my YouTube channel. This does not count any of my sphere of influence, any past clients, any referrals, anything like that. This is strictly from just one lead generation source. I recently did a training within Real Broker showing people exactly how to get started with YouTube, exactly how I've done it, as well as some tips and recommendations along the way on how to find success with YouTube. That first year on YouTube, I did pretty good, but I definitely could expedite that process knowing what I know now. My goal with this video here is to expedite that process for you. I hope you enjoy this training video. It is a long one. It runs almost an hour long, so you are going to find a lot of value in this, but I hope you stick around, watch the entire video, and get a really good sense of how to go out there and start a YouTube channel. Now, before we jump into this, one last thing. My name is Cody. I consider myself to be the YouTube realtor. I built my entire business on YouTube, and I want to help other people do the same exact thing. I've got a ton of videos here on the channel, and if you're interested in learning more about YouTube, or you want to talk to me about Real Broker, where we host these types of trainings every single day, I'd love to chat with you. My information's in the description box below. You can find my information down there where you can book a call with me. I'd love to chat with you about the types of opportunities we have out there and also help you get started on that YouTube journey. So with that being said, let's dive into this training here. I hope you enjoy it. Reach out if there's anything I can do for you, and we'll see you guys soon. It looks like we mostly got new people here that I haven't seen in the class before, which is awesome. I'm excited to jump into this and talk a little bit about how I've used YouTube to kind of grow my business and be able to continue closing more and more business each and every year. Just this year alone, I closed. Right now, I'm sitting at 450,000 in GCI just from YouTube. So that doesn't even include anything that's from SOI, past clients, anything like that. And, hopefully we wrap up a couple more deals before the end of the year. So this is something that can be really powerful. I don't, share that necessarily to brag or anything. It's just to show you that, hey, yes, you are getting business from this. There's a lot of people out there, absolutely crushing it. And to me, I still look up to some other people that are doing YouTube, that are doing a lot more business than I am. And, I'm sure there's at least a couple realtors, especially even here within Real, who are doing, upwards of $1 million plus in GCI. So it is something that you can have success with. The cool thing about it is it works regardless of what style you want to go for, right? There's a lot of different ways to approach this. We're going to talk a little bit about that here in this class. So we're going to jump in here. Let me share my screen real quick, and then we'll just get rocking and rolling. If you guys have questions along the way, please just jump in and let's answer any questions, because sometimes that can be a lot more helpful than just me, kind of going through a presentation. That's, not always the best in my opinion. I'd rather answer questions that people have specifically. The whole goal of this is to try and get people to hopefully, give you the encouragement to go out there and just start taking action. So this is kind of designed. There are going to be some tips in here that if you already have a YouTube channel, you'll be able to implement that will either help you be more efficient with your time. It will help you produce more videos, or even just, some different tactics on how to grow your channel quicker than the next guy. But there's also going to be a large focus on how to go out there and get started with the YouTube channel. If you have never filmed a video, you've never done anything like that, this will be a good introduction for that. So anyway, here's a picture of me. I've been a real estate agent for, this is now 8 years. Change that real quick. I'm a real estate investor. In 2021, I did 360,000 in GCI. And then just like I mentioned, I'm sitting about 450 right now in 2022. And the thing that I love about YouTube is it's high quality, it's free. And these are inbound leads, right? These are people that are reaching out to you saying, hey, Cody, I'm moving to your area, or I live in your area. I need some help. Please help me, right? So the cool thing about this, we're going to cover a lot here and run through this agenda real quick. So we'll talk a little bit about how YouTube works, why it's so effective, why I believe you need YouTube, especially going into the shifting market and going into the future. Things are changing. Things are moving more online. And even in the lead generation space, I'm starting to see it shift more and more. So we'll talk a little bit about how to get started. We'll talk briefly on filming and editing, and then thumbnails and posting, and then final tips and thoughts. I like to kind of focus this, teach a little bit more on the, I don't want to say theory behind YouTube, but why YouTube is so powerful, so that hopefully you get jazzed up about it and are able to jump in and just get going on it right away. So YouTube works. I'm sure most people know this already, but I just want to touch on it briefly just in case people aren't aware. The way that I run my YouTube channel and the way that I recommend it, as well as what I'm seeing other people do that are having a lot of success, is through SEO. So YouTube is SEO focused, which means search engine optimization, which basically means that people are searching for it. So people are searching for this content and it's 100% organic. This can be the people that are looking for this type of content. It can be local people in your market. It can be people relocating. It could be investors looking for investment properties. It could be people looking for commercial property or second homes, vacation homes. So I bring this up because regardless of what market you're in, you're going to be able to find people who are looking at buying or selling in that market, right? For me, I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah. We had a lot of people relocate here through the pandemic. And so I really kind of doubled down on relocation. And at this point in time, that is, I don't want to say it's drying up. There's still a lot of people moving here, but it's not as, there's not as many leads coming in on that topic anymore. So I'm starting to kind of shift towards locals, right? There's about 1.5 million people in my metro area. So plenty of homes to sell. My goal is to, shift more towards the local side of things and try to pick up some people who already live here and are maybe looking at selling and buying so we can pick up 2 deals at once. So that's kind of my shift, my focus here. But, maybe you're into investing. Maybe you're an investor yourself and you want to talk about investments. This is a great thing. Also with commercial, with commercial properties and investments, it's very numbers focused, right? So if you're an analytical type person, you want to talk about the numbers, you want to talk about deals. Maybe you're in that world, you're talking to wholesalers, you're talking to people who are flipping homes or motivated sellers, whatever. You can talk about that and just start putting deals together. That's the way I kind of look at that world, is look at how you can put 2 deals together, between a buyer and a seller. And then same thing, maybe you're in a market where you've got second homes or vacation homes. Maybe you're you're in Florida somewhere, right? You're in Naples, right? Where a lot of people have vacation homes. That could be another avenue that you kind of touch on and say, hey, look, I'm the second home vacation expert when it comes to this, and I can help get that done for you. So that's a cool thing about it. There's a lot of different ways to approach that. We'll kind of dive into what different people are doing. You can either follow my method or you can follow the method of some of these other people as well. Let's talk about why YouTube is so effective. So YouTube is incredibly effective and it's also very efficient. The reason why is because it allows you to leverage your time. If you think about this, the time that it makes you to create a video and go out there and post it is a very small amount of time in the grand scheme of things. If we come back here, I just want to show you this screen here that with some content that I have. Let's say that you go out there and you make a video that takes you an hour to plan it out, right? And I'm going to give you kind of the script that I follow. It takes you an hour to plan it out. Maybe it takes you an hour, maybe 2 hours to film it. Maybe it's your first time filming. So, you're going to mess up. You're going to, have to reshoot things. You're going to have to kind of get everything set up. It's going to be a little bit slower in the beginning. And then maybe it takes you a couple hours to edit it. Maybe you're editing it yourself. Maybe you've got somebody that who can do it, or a virtual assistant, which I will recommend here a little bit later on, that's going to do that for you. So the cool thing about this is that once you create that video, if we add up all those hours, it takes you about 4 hours to create that video. Yet once you post that video, it can go out there and it can create leads and views for you every single day, 24/7, 365. I like to compare this to, let's say cold calling. If you're into cold calling, once you stop cold calling, you lose the ability to continue lead generating. If you spend 3 hours cold calling, you might make some success. You might make some really good contacts, some people you can stay in touch with. But once you stop making those calls, you then lose the ability to continue generating leads. So to me, that's not very efficient and it's not very effective. If we take a look at this video right here, this is actually the very first video I ever made. Let me pause this here real quick. I'll just kind of show you what it is. I want to show you the analytics here first, though. So this is a video, like I said, probably took me an hour to plan it. Probably took me, I don't know, maybe 2 hours to film it. And then I edited this video myself. So it probably took me 3 hours. So I was probably into this whole video, maybe 5 to 6 hours in total to get everything good to go. So I posted this video and, in the first 3 days, I know it's probably a little bit small here, but in the first 3 days, I got 16 views. So nothing to write home about, nothing amazing there, but By 2 weeks in, I was at 35 views. And you can see that if we just kind of continue on this timeline, once I posted that video, it continued to generate views. And, I've probably had some direct leads from this video that I created over 3 years ago. You can see that I published this video on September 23rd of 2019. So it's been over 3 years, and this video has continued to, put out views or gain views, I should say, every single day. So it's climbed, all the way through the pandemic. And we're sitting at, just over 8,000 views as of today. And you can see right here, I picked up 3 views on this particular video in the last 48 hours. So nothing amazing. You might be thinking, okay, cool, 3 views, but this is a video that I put out 3 years ago, so that's pretty phenomenal to be able to find that type of, efficiency when it comes to YouTube. So it's basically just me sitting in an office, set up a camera on a coffee table here in front of me, and just film myself. Hey, here's where you should live in Salt Lake City. So I go through this. I talk about the different areas of where to live, talk about the Wasatch Front, talk about, let's see, the video's a little bit slow here, but yeah, it's basically just me talking about it. Hey, here's a map. Here's an area to consider. Here's the pros and cons. This is the type of video that you can create about your area. So this is just one type of video that you can do. So that's a cool thing about it. Let's get back on track and talk about leveraging your time. So I just kind of covered that in depth. The other cool thing about it is it's passive. Once you put that video out, it's going to continue to produce those views for you without any effort of your own. You also are going to generate inbound leads. So these are leads who are watching your video. They're going to watch your video. They might watch one of your videos, and then they're going to watch the next one. They're going to watch the next one. And I've had people call me, and they'll literally say, hey, I've been watching your videos. I've seen 12 of them. And then I decided to call you because I'm moving to your area, or because I, want to buy an investment property. And it seems like you really know what you're talking about. So the cool thing about this is these are people who already know you. And they're also extremely high quality. Let's touch on this first. These are people that already know you. So again, as opposed to, let's say, an open house or cold calling or Facebook leads or Google leads, these are people that already know what you look like. They know what you sound like. They know what your mannerisms are. They know your confidence. They know that you know what you're talking about when it comes to living in a specific area or talking about specific investment properties or whatever it may be. And they've already built that trust with you to know that you're the person that they should go to if they're looking at, purchasing a home or even selling a home. They're also extremely high quality. The last time I checked, it's been probably 3 months or so since I checked, but the closing ratio that I've got on all of the YouTube leads that I brought in is sitting at right around 7%. So 7% close rate on these YouTube leads is extremely high. If you're used to, if you do Zillow leads or Realtor.com or OpCity or whatever, these different services that are out there, even Facebook or Google, you're probably sitting at about 1 to 2%. If you can hit 2% close ratio on those leads, you're doing really, really well. But here with YouTube, I'm sitting at about 7% on the leads that I've had come through. Also, they're generally speaking, this is probably the most surprising thing. They're also extremely high quality. I get a lot of people who, I came from the world of working with a lot of first-time buyers who don't have any money. Their credit's not very great. They're trying to scrounge up, $5,000 or $10,000 for a down payment or closing costs. When I made the switch over here to YouTube, I was surprised how high quality these leads were. Because I've had I think probably 4 of the last 5 deals I've done have been all cash, at high price points. We're talking 700,000 to $1 million. I'm also, seeing a lot of young professionals, a lot of doctors, a lot of attorneys, business owners. These are high quality leads that are coming through. They've got money, they've got credit, they've been around the block, they're a little bit more sophisticated, they're easier to work with. And so that's a cool thing about these leads that are coming through. All right, so let's talk about this. Video is powerful. It's better than a text or a call, kind of like I alluded to just a minute ago. Video is the most powerful thing you can do, because if you text somebody, that's basically just words on a screen, right? There's not a whole lot of emotion there. There's not a whole lot of personal connection with that. If you call somebody, well, at least they can hear your voice. They can hear, I don't want to say necessarily your body language, but they can hear kind of, the way that you say things, whether you say it excited or, in an angry tone. So that's that creates a little bit more of a personal connection, but video is really the most powerful because somebody gets to actually see what you look like and what your body language is, and they get to see what your voice is or hear what your voice is. So Video is the most powerful thing that you can do, which is great. It really helps build that human connection so that when people reach out, they already know you, like you, and trust you, and they want to do business with you. When people call me or they contact me, it's probably the easiest sell you'll ever get. I mean, it's right up there with like a referral. It's extremely powerful because these people already trust you. Yeah. So, and then the last thing I just want to touch on here is it's value first. So again, if you're coming from the world of Zillow leads or Facebook leads, open houses, cold calling, door knocking, a lot of times you've got 30 to 60 seconds to, build a relationship with that person and kind of pitch them on what value you have, right? What value do you really have when you are hosting an open house? Well, you've got control of the listing. You can show them around. You've got the connections. Of course, you've got all your knowledge and, expertise. But you can't always show that in that quick 30 to 60 seconds when you first meet this person. With video, somebody's going to go down that rabbit hole of watching, 10, 15, 20 of your videos. They're going to watch, probably a couple hours worth of your content, and they're going to get a ton of value from that. You're going to be, kind of throwing out bones to them in each of those videos saying, hey, reach out to me. If you want me to help you, reach out. We'll talk a little bit about how I script that. But that's the cool thing about it is you get to provide that value first. So again, it makes it a much easier sale when people reach out to you. So I'll just touch on this briefly, why you need YouTube. In my opinion, video is the future. Video is just going to continue growing. We have all these different, if you remember back like 10 years ago, I was watching an old TV show and it showed the first iPhone, and it was kind of nostalgic to just look at like what the first iPhone looked like. And, and then I remember, okay, yeah, then Facebook came along, and then Instagram came along, and then it was, Snapchat, now it's TikTok. And as you look at the progression of those different social media services and just the internet in general, everything is moving more and more towards video overall. So the cool thing about video is it gives you credibility. So when somebody sees you making content about your area, they get to know that, hey, you're the credible resource, you know what you're talking about, and they'll build that trust with you. It's also free. It doesn't cost you anything to put out a video. If you wanted to film a video on your phone right now, there's no cost for that. Now, of course, you can speed up the process through hiring somebody to help you with this content, especially editing. That's something I'd recommend. But it can be 100% free, so it doesn't cost you anything but your time. And then you also get the ability to create evergreen content, kind of like we just talked about on that YouTube video I created. That very first one I ever did, this one is still pulling in views, every single day. I've even got this one here, top 5 neighborhoods in my area. This one's racked up 17,000 views. And you can see the progression here over the years. It just continues to pull in views. It's picked up 11 views in the last 48 hours. So it's pretty cool to see that type of progression and longevity to, these different videos that you make. All right, so let's talk about getting started. So we're actually going to kind of dive in, jump off this presentation and talk about what content to make. So number one, I think the most important thing is to find titles that are going to be searchable, that people are actually looking for, or that are going to evoke emotion in a potential viewer. I'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a minute. You can do just a quick little note here. There's lots of different ways to approach this. You can do market updates. You can do neighborhood tours. You can do info on your local area. You can do vlogs. There's a lot of different ways to go about creating video. We'll talk about this here in just a second. And then lastly, one thing that I recommend is if you like kind of my approach to this, you can copy me or copy somebody else. When it comes to creating video, if you look at what other people have done, if a video has a lot of views, there's probably a reason why that video has a lot of views. It's probably a hot topic. It's something that people are interested in and they want to know more about it. So let's jump over here and take a look at some different videos that I've created. So in the beginning, I made a lot of videos about, hey, where should I live in Salt Lake City, Utah? In order to kind of show you what this looks like, let me move this over here. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's go to YouTube. And we're going to go to my channel. All right, cool. So this is a quick look at my channel here. And let's say that you live in, I don't know, Miami. Hey, if anybody's got questions too, I can't see the chat box when we're in this screen share. It's kind of difficult. So if you have questions, just jump in and chime in. Let me jump back here. Okay, cool. So let's say you live in Miami, right? these are the types of things that people are going to be searching for. So if you just type into the search box right here on YouTube, it's going to give you a bunch of recommendations on what people are searching for. So if you kind of just go through this, I mean, people want to know just in general, hey, what's it like to live in Miami, Florida? They want to know what it's like to live in Miami Beach. They want to see vlogs about it. They want to see what it's like to live there in 2022. They want pros and cons versus Los Angeles, Miami Beach, Florida on a budget. You get the idea. It kind of goes on and on there. So there's a lot of different topics that you can create just by taking what people are searching for. So it could be living in Miami, right? And you can just create a video around what it's like to live there. So this guy right here, Anton Daniels, living in Miami for over a month, 5 things you need to consider before moving here. This video has, he put this out a year ago and it's got over 153,000 views. This one right here, living in Miami, pros and cons after 20 years. This is a video that somebody put out 2 years ago and it's picked up 82,000 views. So there's a lot of different video content ideas that you can get just by doing a quick search and looking at what's on the, what's showing up here in the search box. So I would personally go in here, look at these titles and then go in, write these titles down and then start scripting out a video on what you would talk about from your own perspective. Now, if you live in Miami, Florida, you should have a pretty good idea of the pros and cons to the area and you can kind of talk to that, right? So living in Florida versus California, the biggest difference is explained. This is a great one here. You could make a video saying, okay, yeah, the differences are obviously taxes, politics is going to be one. Maybe the East Coast is different from the West Coast in XYZ, in these different, areas. And you can kind of do some research and make a video around that. So that's one thing that I would recommend is just look through these videos and get an idea of what people are actually searching for. This is a great example. So this guy's named his channel Living in Miami, which is something I'd recommend doing. Let's see, let's move this up here. So this guy makes, this is probably a realtor. Maybe somebody knows this guy. I don't know this guy, Hans Weisfeld. But yeah, you can see here that he's created his channel, basically as a real estate agent, and he's picking up leads, from these videos. He's created 169 videos. He did 6 videos this month. You can see his views and his stats here, but these are the types of, channels that I would look out for and then go in and basically just steal the title and then make your own video and create your own content around what this person is doing. So Brickell, Miami, Florida, I don't know, that must be a neighborhood. Edgewater must be a neighborhood. Downtown is obviously, probably right in the middle of the city. Sunny Isles Beach. So all about living in Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, 2021. This has picked up 14,000 views over last year. You can kind of see what, what's popular. So obviously a lot of people are searching for Brickell, 45,000 views. So that's something that I'd recommend going in and, just copying these titles and going after similar content as to what these guys are creating. You can also do, let's jump over here to my channel. So in the very beginning, I created videos on just what it's like to live here, right? Where should I live in Salt Lake City, Utah? This is something that somebody would be searching for if they're not from the area. Top 5 best neighborhoods in Salt Lake City. I've got, house hacking. I talked about that as an investment video. Why are so many people moving to Utah? 6 reasons you'll love living in Utah. Moving to Salt Lake, 6 tips to make it easy. You can kind of just go down this list here and take a look at what I've done that has, found a lot of success. And guys, these don't have to be like super high quality videos. I think a lot of people get overwhelmed with the potential quality of these videos. Early on, I created this video. This is almost 3 years ago. And man, this is a little nostalgic, a little embarrassing to go back and watch this, but like I'm standing out here, my hair is like blowing crazy in the wind. The lighting is off. I didn't know anything about video in the very beginning. So this is a pretty terrible video, but it's picked up 11,000 views, and the cool thing about this is you don't have to have a lot of views in order to start picking up leads from this. I started my channel in September and picked up my very first lead on January 1st. It was New Year's Day. And at the time, the person who reached out to me, they ended up buying a house about 5 months later. And it was the biggest deal I ever did. It was a $1.2 million house. It was for a doctor who was relocating here. And, ended up being the biggest deal that I'd ever done up until that point. So that's pretty cool. And at the time, I probably had less than 1,000 views across all of my videos. So all my channel, my entire channel, less than 1,000 views to pick up a lead like that. So you don't need to be getting a ton of views in order to have success with this. So this is a video, like I said, I just talked about this area, Lehigh, which is a really popular area here in our metro market. So you can do kind of these vlog tours, right? So this is just me standing outside this place. I jump in the car, I start filming videos like this and just showing people exactly what it's like to live here, right? People want to see, hey, what do the roads look like? What do the houses look like? The sidewalks, how many trees are there? What's the landscaping look like? These are the things that people are really interested in. And that's why these videos do really, really well. I jump out of the car, walk down the street, talk about, hey, here's home prices in this area. You're looking at spending this amount of money, et cetera, et cetera. So this is the type of content that you can make for, as another option. If we jump over here, let's talk about Brad McCallum. Brad McCallum's OG in the YouTube space, somebody I look up to because he's really kind of dominated this space of doing these home tours, right? So he obviously has these very high production home tours, and this is something you can do. If this is kind of your style, you could go in and copy what Brad is doing and just do almost exclusively home tours. Every once in a while, Brad will drop another video, talking about home prices. This is, a video of him that's just kind of in the office talking about stuff. So this is just another way of going out there and finding content to make. These videos do really, really well. He's got really high production value. So that's something you can do as another option. You can also do market updates. That's really popular right now. I try to stay, I would recommend not getting sucked too far into that world because things are changing rapidly and it can get, you might find yourself talking about the same thing every single day, but that's something I've been talking about recently and the videos are doing, fairly well. So just, talking about Utah real estate market changes, surprising info for October. So I basically jump in here, show people the market stats, show them exactly what's happening, and just kind of take them step by step through that process of showing them the data. Talking about builders, you can talk about new construction, where real estate will go in 2023. You can scroll through here and just take a look at what we've put out to find some ideas. And basically all you're going to do is just take, hey, where to live in Salt Lake County. You could do the same exact thing. Maybe you live in, I don't know, Phoenix. You could type in where to live in Maricopa County, right? And then just go through and just do a map tour, right? So this is a video that I filmed. Pull this up here. Again, it's me here in this office. This is one I did recently. And then it's basically just me showing people on the map, the pros and cons of each area. Hey, here's where the airport's at. Here's where the prison's at that they just built. They just moved it. It used to be down here. Just basically providing facts to people about what's going on that's unique in the area. So, this is just a video map tour that I did. It's a 20-minute video. So it's relatively long. But yeah, just showing people exactly where to live. So that's another idea for you on what type of content to make. So I really recommend, you're going to get to the point where you'll get kind of stuck on figuring out what content to make. I just recommend going in there and copying somebody else and, basically stealing their title and then making your own content around what they have done. All right. So let's talk a little bit about filming. I recommend scripting out your videos, especially in the beginning. If you've never filmed videos before, I'd recommend going in and actually scripting out at least bullet points on what you want to talk about. So as you get better with video, you'll probably get to the point where you can kind of just shoot off the cuff a little bit and, have a little bit more success with that. But in the very beginning, if you're new to this, I recommend scripting out the video, and it should be, somewhat like a 5-paragraph essay. If you remember back from, high school or middle school, they teach you about the 5-paragraph essay. You're going to have an introduction. You're going to have, 3, 4, 5, maybe main points, and then you're going to have an outro. I like to keep the intro and the outro as short as possible and really stick with that middle section, which is where, the meat and potatoes is of the video. So that being said, the introduction, I generally start off with something like, hey, welcome. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the real estate changes that are coming to Utah. We've seen some really big changes with price drops and interest rates, and I think you're going to be surprised with what you see in this video here. So create a little bit of intrigue there. Create tell them exactly what they're going to get in that video and just get straight into it. So I like to tell people within the first 10 seconds what the video is about and what they're going to get if they give me their time and attention to watch that video. That's something that's really important. If you're not getting views on your videos, it's probably because you're not getting right into the content right away. You're kind of, dragging things along and people are getting bored and they're clicking off of your video right away. The thing about YouTube is you're going to lose people very early on either way. regardless of how long your video is. So you can see here, I've even got some momentum and traction, but you can see here with this chart right here, over a third of people have already clicked off the video within 30 seconds. So they clicked on the video, thought they were going to get something that they wanted, maybe didn't get what they wanted, and they ended up leaving, right? Or maybe they were, jumping in the car, right? They're walking along the sidewalk and, click on my video real quick, they jump in the car and then they got to turn it off. That's something that's going to happen either way, but you want to try and keep people connected to your video for as long as possible. So for this one, I mean, keeping 25% of people watching all the way through for a 20-minute video is pretty good. For 250 views, that means that I've had roughly, what is that, like, I don't know, 60 or 70 people who watched the entire video, which is pretty dang good. So yeah, plan out your video, script it. I start with that introduction. The introduction will also have something like, right after you tell them what you are going to share with them, I usually throw in something like, hey, what's up? My name's Cody. I run this channel here living in Salt Lake City, Utah. I want to be your trusted real estate resource when it comes to buying or selling real estate here in Utah. And then just a quick introduction, let them know who I am. And then I get right into the video. Then usually about, after that first or second point in the main part of the video, I'll give them a pitch, hey, real quick, guys, if you're thinking about making a move to my area, or you already live in the area and you want to buy or sell real estate, maybe you're looking at investing or you're looking at building a new home with a builder, make sure to reach out to me. My information is here on the screen. Call me, text me, or email me. Just get in touch with me. I absolutely love hearing from you guys, and I cannot wait to hear from you who's watching this video right now. That would be something that I would do, right? Just quick off the cuff, little sales pitch, right? Throw that in there, because if you're not pitching yourself, people are not going to know that, first of all, you want them to reach out to you, and they're not going to know how to get in touch with you. Early on, I started doing this right from the beginning, and I think that's what led to, some of the momentum that I built. And so, yeah, you have to kind of pitch yourself a little bit. I try not to do that right up front. I would, at least wait until you're a minute or two into the video to try and do that. But it is something that is going to, start producing leads for you. So that kind of covers the first, the middle section of the video there. And then the outro can just be something simple like, hey, that kind of wraps up our video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to reach out to me if you're thinking about buying or selling real estate here in the area. I'd love to help you. I'd love to chat with you about the type of home and lifestyle you're looking for and see how we can help you meet your real estate goals. Right. So just something like that, quick introduction, and then just, sign it off and say, hey, see you in the next video. So that's kind of how I plan out and script my videos. And feel free to play around with it, right? Obviously, that structure is not really going to work if you're doing a home tour. That might not work as well for, different types of videos. But if you're doing, for instance, like this, this vlog tour, right? So I've got an introduction. Hey, I'm here at Thanksgiving Point. Here's what's really cool about this area. Hey, by the way, my name's Cody. I'm a real estate agent here in the area. I do a quick tour around the neighborhood. This would be kind of point number one. You can see right here is where I actually, give people the pitch. Hey, my information is on the screen. Call me, text me, email, just get in touch with me. And then I kind of go over here. Hey, here's an overview of the city. Here's what this looks like. So this structure, this 5-paragraph essay structure works really well for a video like this. I usually break it up. You've got your introduction. You're going to talk about home prices. You might talk about the businesses in the area or entertainment or schools. You might talk about why the area is growing, why it's not growing, whatever it might be. You kind of just come up with those different points and then add in talking points on each of those areas. And then, just provide some value and content along the way. All right, so let's talk about some of the logistic things when it comes to filming video. So audio and video. Audio is going to be the most important part of creating a video. If you're out there creating video, you can have a bad video, but as long as the audio is good, people will watch it. So looking at this video here, the quality of the video is not great. It's, the colors are really dull. It's kind of washed out. It's not really high quality. The resolution is not great, but people still end up watching this video. And that's because the audio is pretty decent. It's good enough to hear. If somebody's watching a video and they can't hear what you're saying, even if it's like this beautiful cinematic video, but this audio is, cutting in and out and it's all scratchy and there's a lot of wind noise, people are not going to watch that. So make sure as you're going through this process, filming these videos, your audio has to be on point. I'd say it's more important than the actual video when it comes to filming. So you have a couple different options for a microphone. You can use headphones. If you have Apple products, you can just use like AirPods or your plug-in, headphones that plug into your phone. That's a great option if you're filming from your phone. Again, if you're just trying to get started, this week, or I guess today's Friday, so maybe over the weekend, that's a great option. Just go with your headphones. The microphone on the headphones is going to be pretty good. It's not the best, but again, just to get started, it's something you can work with. I would probably go that route as opposed to just using your phone. If you're just using your phone, the microphone that's on your phone is not going to be great for filming content. So definitely try to use some type of headphone at the very least. You can also use a Rode mic. So depending on what type of camera you're using, I don't have it here in front of me, but you can also use like a Rode mic or a shotgun mic. Let me just add this in here. And this is basically just a little microphone that will attach onto your camera. So whether you're using a DSLR camera like I have here in front of me, or you're using a GoPro, which is another option, you can use these. They basically just call them shotgun mic is kind of the general term for it. Rode is an actual brand of microphone, but you can find cheap ones on Amazon for like, I don't know, 40 or 50 bucks that are going to work really, really well. If you want to go a little bit more higher end, you can upgrade to a Rode mic. Those are going to be a couple hundred, probably unnecessary, especially if you're just getting started. But those are great options for vlog type videos, even videos like here in the office. Those are a great option. And another option, if you're filming videos in the office, is going to be a Blue Yeti. That's what I'm using right here. This is like a $120 mic, super popular. You can find it on Amazon or, anywhere else online. And this is a great option. There are options out there that are more expensive, but again, probably unnecessary for, most of us here creating videos like, in this fashion. So I would recommend if you're going for a microphone like this in the office, just go with a Blue Yeti. Sound quality should be pretty good. All right, so let's talk about camera. So we just talked about that. You can use iPhone or, your Android, whatever you have, whatever type of phone you're using. These are both great options for getting started. They're not going to be the highest quality, but they are going to be pretty dang good. The phone or the camera on your phone is almost as good as the DSLR cameras from a couple of years ago. So you actually might be really surprised, especially if you have the latest models. The camera on there is pretty dang good. You can also use GoPros. They do, you can find a used GoPro for, I don't know, probably a couple $100 that's going to be set up for that vlog style. That's exactly what I'm using here in this video. And, basically just using kind of a selfie stick, just holding it out in front of me, filming with a GoPro. The quality is not the best that you're going to get, but it is an option. And then you do have, your full-on DSLR cameras. You can get really, really fancy with these cameras. That is what, Brad McCallum is using. Or his videographer, and that's going to provide the highest level of, quality for this video. So that's how you're going to get these really nice high-end, high-quality shots. But again, if you're just getting started, I recommend starting with your phone or maybe even a cheap GoPro. Something like that is going to be plenty for what you need. And then real quick, I just want to touch on light. So you have natural light and you have fixed light. So natural light is going to be if you're outside, obviously with this, this film that Brad is doing right here, he's just filming with the sun, the sun from the daylight, and that's going to work great. But if you're filming in the office, kind of like I am right here, I'm going to have a light right here in front of me. I've got one over here on this side as well. You can use those fixed lights to, light up your face. So something to just kind of keep in mind there when it comes to lighting. Just be aware of where the light source is coming from to try and, enhance that video quality a little bit. So when it comes to editing, there's a few different sources out there. If you're on Mac or Apple products, you can use iMovie. iMovie is great. It's a very basic editing service. It's very simple. You could learn it in about 15 or 20 minutes. It's not too difficult. If you do want to get a little bit more advanced, you can jump into one of these two options, Final Cut Pro, which is kind of like the advanced version of iMovie, or you can go Adobe Premiere. These are going to be what, the professionals use. It's probably a little bit overkill. I used iMovie for 2 years, doing everything myself. So it's plenty, for creating, these standard videos. For the sake of time here, we don't have a whole lot of time into, learning how to go into, actually editing, but just a couple tips here that you can, spend 15 or 20 minutes to learn this. Just watch other videos to learn the basics. Jump on YouTube, type in how to edit a video, and they're going to give you everything you need to know within, 15 or 20 minutes. The things that you want to know are jump cuts, which is basically just how to stitch two portions of the video together. You're going to want to learn how to do B-roll, which is where you basically take an image and lay it over the top of, or, a clip of video and lay it over the top of another piece of video with audio going in the background. And then also, learning something like background music, how to add that in and make sure it's, not overpowering the video is something that would be good to know as well. Ultimately, guys, I recommend outsourcing this to a virtual assistant. You can hire VAs that will do this work for you. They are generally charging about $4 to $5 an hour as long as they're on a consistent schedule. And this is going to be the best use of your time. It is going to take, it is going to cost some money to do this, but if you're putting out 1 or 2 videos a week, the cost to hire a virtual assistant is going to be well worth it rather than, racking your brain trying to figure out how to edit a video at a high level. The thing that I always tell people is like, hey, look, we're here to sell real estate. We're not here to be videographers and create the best videos possible. So just keep that in mind, outsourcing to a virtual assistant, or even if you're getting more advanced, maybe you want to really take the quality level up, you can hire, somebody in person. That's what I've done at this point, is hired somebody to help me with filming videos, help me with editing, and, just creating these higher quality videos. So that's something I definitely recommend. If you need a resource for this, I've got a couple of virtual assistants who can help with that. You can just, shoot me a message after the class here, and I'm happy to make a connection for you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about thumbnails and posting videos. So this is one thing that's really specific to YouTube that is really important when it comes to having success on your videos. So the thing that you want to keep in mind is, what is attractive to potential viewers? Why is somebody going to click on your video versus another video? There's a couple of common things that you're going to notice in these thumbnails that I'll show you. That's going to be a picture of somebody's face. That's going to be a background of the city, signs, and then this is just a note here, get creative. Let me just change this here. So yeah, get creative with your thumbnails and try to come up with something that's a little bit different, right? Again, this is something you can outsource to a virtual assistant. You eventually want to get to the point where you can outsource everything but filming. If you can do this, you can really get into a rhythm where you can be putting out 2, 3, 4 videos a week, and it might only be taking, 5 to 10 hours a week of your time, and you can keep the rest of that time focused on selling real estate. And then we'll talk briefly here about the TubeBuddy split test and kind of some of the cool features with that. So let's jump back over here and take a look at some thumbnails here. So if we come back here onto Brad's channel, you can see a theme here that is consistent among all of these videos. So almost every single thumbnail has a very high quality, high resolution picture of the house. They've also edited it in such a way that the main house they're trying to highlight sticks out, right? So in this one right here, you can see that the house in the middle, they've highlighted that, and then the houses on the left and the right, they've kind of dimmed out, right? So these are some of the different themes that you can go for, but almost every image is the same. They've got the price up here in the background, a picture of the house or a picture of inside or something. And then there's, in some of these, pictures of different people. So that's one way you can go about it. Let's come over here to my channel. Let me go like this. So come over here to my channel. Again, you can see that I like to use pictures of myself because when somebody's scrolling through YouTube, they're going to see a picture of me and they're going to instantly know, hey, that's Cody's video. If they want to watch my content, they're more likely to click on that because they've seen that it's my, a picture of me. If I have I have a picture of me in almost every single one. This one's a great option. I did this home tour, kind of stole the idea from what Brad is doing. This video did okay. For me, 454 views is nothing amazing, but, still half decent. But there's not a picture of me in it, right? So if somebody's scrolling through YouTube and they see this picture, this thumbnail here, they're not going to immediately know, oh, that's one of Cody's videos. I need to watch it. So for me, I like to use a picture of me on the thumbnail. And then, just get creative with what you're doing here. So this is, hey, where to live in Salt Lake County, full map tour. So we kind of highlighted the state of Utah where I'm at and highlighted that. We've also done this other one here, like, let's see, right here, should you buy, right? So just using some simple text on the thumbnail is good. We've got a picture of the city skyline in the background, a little border around the edge here. And yeah, just kind of that general image is a good way to go. I also want to talk about Ken. Ken is crushing it when it comes to YouTube. And, he's kind of done the same thing with a lot of his thumbnails here. So talking this one here about solar, right? It's a picture of him. It's a question, or, it shows some text here showing solar and some money. And then, solar panels here in the background. He's got here, how do Orlando home prices compare? So he's, got a picture of the map here of the United States. You can kind of get the idea of what he's going for here with these different thumbnails. So there's a lot of emotion in his face, regardless, or, which one you're looking at. This one looks like a little bit concerned. This one's, excited, smiling. There's a lot of different ways to go about creating thumbnails for your videos. So hopefully that helps. You can also use signs or a background of the city. So like a good example of that is Jeremy. He likes to put signs on his thumbnails. He also uses, there's going to be a lot of text on the screen. And I generally try to use the text on the thumbnail to be something that's different than the title. So like, this is a great example, right? Home buyers taking advantage of sellers. On the screen, it says sell, sell, sell for this lady holding the sign. That's a great one. What you must know before moving to Austin, this says before moving. I might put something a little bit different there, but you can do that. I think that putting some text on the screen gives you another opportunity to suck somebody in and, have them get interested in your video. So let's see here. Let's see if we can find one. Yeah. So anyway, this one's like I like this one a lot. So this one I was talking about wildfire risk here in Utah. It just says Utah risk. I do have that here in the title, but just kind of switching that up, playing around with it is something that you can do that will be really helpful to be able to get people to click on your videos. So let's talk briefly about why somebody would want to watch your video and how to grow your channel. So when it comes to YouTube, there's two things that really make the biggest difference in being able to grow your channel, get more views, and ultimately get more leads who are reaching out to you. So number one is going to be the people who click through on your video. So how many people see your thumbnail, see your video as an option to watch, and then click through to actually watch it. And then how long do those people actually watch your video for? If you can get a lot of people to click through and watch your video, and those people end up watching for a long time, that is the recipe for going viral on YouTube. There's also one other thing that I want to share that's kind of in addition to that I think a lot of people miss, and that's actually sharing YouTube videos. Now, what I mean by that, let me clarify. I don't share any of my videos to Facebook. I don't share to Instagram. I don't share my videos anywhere. I simply just put them out on YouTube and kind of let YouTube do its thing when it comes to, pushing these videos out to different people. So that's what I'd recommend when it comes to, creating a video. But when it comes to sharing the video, if you can ask people to share it with a friend, with a family member, maybe a spouse, who's interested in that type of content, that's going to help your video do even better, because the way that YouTube and their algorithm looks at this is they're going to look at this and say, hey, there's a lot of people sharing this video with other people. This might be some valuable content. People are finding enough value in this content that they want to share this with somebody else. So rather than asking somebody to, like the video or give you a thumbs up on the video, I would use that little segment of time and actually ask them to share it with somebody. A very small portion of people are going to share the video, but if you can get them to do so, that's going to help your channel grow substantially. So remember, when it comes to growing YouTube and, growing your YouTube channel and finding more success on YouTube, it really comes down to how many people click through on the video and how long those people actually watch for. So if we come over here, this where to live in Salt Lake County, this one did not do as well as I thought it would. I thought we had a pretty good thumbnail on here. I thought the title was really good. A simple title that's going to produce evergreen views, right? When somebody comes to YouTube in 3 years and they type in, hey, where to live in Salt Lake County, that's a video that's going to pop up, right? So this video is going to have the potential. It's not a viral video. It's not going to be this hot topic that everybody just wants to know about, but it is going to be a video that's going to produce views, year after year. But this video right here, if we jump into the analytics here, the thing that kind of failed on this one a little bit, or it just wasn't as good as it should have been, is this click-through rate. So click-through rate when it comes to YouTube, ideally you want to be over 5%. When you first release your video, you're going to be probably closer to like 10 to 15%. And then that number is going to come down over time as you continue to get impressions on your video. Now, an impression is when your video is shown to somebody on the YouTube homepage or, through these different channels right here. So whether it's search, maybe it's a notification that they got on their phone, suggested videos, browse features, etc. So as the impressions go up, your click-through rate will come down. So for this particular video, our watch time was pretty good. People were watching for a long amount of time, but there wasn't a whole lot of people clicking on the video. Generally speaking, that comes down to either a poor title or a poor thumbnail. In the case of this video particularly, I think it's kind of just not a topic that people want to watch. I feel like we've got the title and thumbnail optimized pretty well. There's always room for improvement. And, but when it comes down to how many people are clicking on the video, 4.4% for your click-through rate is fairly low. When it comes to YouTube, you want to be sitting above 5%, if at all possible. Somewhere in that like 6 to 8% is going to be really ideal for, continuing to pick up a lot of views. There's also another way here. So if you go in and create content around viral topics, this is a quick way to grow. So here in Salt Lake City, Utah, there's a lot of people from California that are moving to the area. So this video, I titled this, I stole this actually from another agent who's in Austin, Texas, a good buddy of mine, who's crushing it there. And he did this video. I stole the exact same title. His was literally why Californians regret moving to Texas and 5 big reasons. So I stole the same title. I just switched out my city name here. The thumbnail is the exact same. It's a picture of me, shows the state of California here, the state of Utah. His was obviously the state of Texas, but the thumbnail was the exact same. And this video did really, really well. So this is a video that people were wanting to watch. And we picked up 24,000 views on this video. In the first, we're at 20,000 here in the first 2 weeks. So this video has now been out for almost 2 months and sitting at 24,500 views. We picked up 1,800 watch hours, 124 subscribers on the channel because of this video right here. And it's still continuing to pick up views every single day, right? There's 3 people watching this video within the last hour. So that's pretty cool to see this. This is the type of content that you can make that will go viral. So if you're out there, if there's something newsworthy in your market, that's something I'd also recommend making content on. We had some floods here in Moab, which is, hey, Mark, nobody would regret moving to Texas. That's funny. That's funny. So we had some floods here in Moab let's see. Yeah, just click on this flash flood. So this is a video. Moab's not even in my market. Moab is about 3.5 hours away from me, but this is something that happened. And I thought, hey, this is something that people are going to be searching for and has the potential to go viral, which could then lead other people to my channel, right? Because if you live here in Salt Lake, you know about Moab, you've probably been there a couple of times. You might be interested in what's happening in Moab. So if I can get somebody to watch this video right here, I had 914 people watch this, most of whom were in the first 4 days or so. That's 914 potential people who are now going to have the ability or the opportunity to, potentially see my other videos. So that's a cool thing about making, kind of this viral content. If there's anything that's newsworthy, maybe you're in Florida talking about hurricanes or, I don't know, talking about just different stuff that happens, right? Anything that's interesting, newsworthy that the news stations would put out. This is the type of content that you can kind of replicate to put on YouTube. And that will be a really, really quick way to get a lot of views. So that being said, I think that is kind of wrapping up what we're talking about here. I've got a couple of final tips and thoughts that I want to share with you here. So number one, consistency. You have to be super consistent with YouTube in order to find success with it. I see a lot of people who will create 1, 2, 3 videos and then they kind of fall off and then they're wondering why they're not getting views, why their channel's not growing, and why they're not getting any leads or deals from YouTube. So in my opinion, you have to do at least 1 video per week. If you can do 2 or even 3 videos per week, especially in the beginning, you're going to find much quicker growth and, you'll get to those leads and, grow your channel much quicker. Regarding perfectionism, try not to get caught up in the perfectionism of creating the best video. I don't know exactly how many videos I've done, but you're going to get better over time. As you create each video, you're going to go through this process of creating a video. It's probably going to suck, especially if it's your first one, but you're going to get better, right? You're going to create another video. I've done 236 videos on my channel over the last 3 years. So that's a lot of opportunities, another at bat, if you will, to go out there and create a better video. If you go back and watch some of my very first videos compared to what I'm creating today, the ones I'm creating today are extremely are much better, right? So try not to get caught up in the perfectionism, especially if you're just getting started. Just create a video, put it out there, see what happens. And that's kind of what this leads to right here. Film a video, post it. You're going to fail. You're only going to get 3 views, 6 views, 10 views anyway. So don't expect a whole lot of success from those first couple of videos. The whole point is just to learn what works, what doesn't work, so that you can go back out there, film another video, you'll post it, you'll find some success, and then you can repeat that process. There's a lot of different ways to succeed and approach it. We kind of touched on that throughout the class here. You can go my route, which is doing these vlog tours. You can talk about the pros and cons of living in the area. You can talk about where to live in the area, just kind of general information regarding relocation type stuff. You can go Brad McCallum's route, right? Doing these home tours. That's an option. You can go, Jeremy does a lot of market updates. He does a lot of live streams as well, with a couple of people on his team. He does these home tours as well. So there's a lot of different ways to do YouTube and find success with it. So yeah, just get out there and do something that works for you. And then last note, I kind of touched on this just a second ago. Try not to share videos. The whole point of YouTube is that it's organic and that it will grow on its own. And that's exactly what you want. You want to get your YouTube videos in front of the people who are actually interested in watching that content. If you go onto Facebook, if you're anything like most realtors, most of your Facebook friends are probably other realtors. If you post that video, they're going to click on it. They're going to watch 5 seconds of your video, and then they're going to click off of it because they're, they want to scroll Facebook instead. So that type of stuff, try to avoid it if at all possible, because that's really going to kill the performance of your video. And then you won't see the growth that you're looking for. So try not to share it. I don't share anything on Instagram. I don't share anything on Facebook or TikTok or anything like that. I mean, those are all kind of different services, different programs, but yeah, so that kind of wraps everything up. Let me know if anybody has questions. Let's see here. Hey, Mark, thanks for jumping in here with us.
Yeah, my pleasure. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, you bet. Do you have a channel already?
I do. I brand it, not personally, more for it's been more about our team. I'm not an actively producing realtor, so I'm just focused on attraction.
Got it. Are you running the team, or what's the structure?
My partner is actually the managing broker here in Illinois for Real.
Okay.
So he's handling that side. I just have, we've got a pretty diversified enterprise. We invest also short-term rental, rehabs, things like that. So my plate's pretty full.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, right on. Yeah, I think you can definitely use YouTube. Like I said, there's an agent in Southern California. I want to say he's in Los Angeles or something. I don't know. He's in Southern California somewhere. And he just talks about commercial real estate. He talks about what's happening with, interest rates and banks and lending and, all kind of the analytical side of commercial real estate. And I mean, he picks up a lot of deals in his local market as well as referrals for other agents. So, there's really no wrong way to go about this. It just kind of depends on what you want to talk about, what you want to focus on, and then just being consistent with it. All right. Well, I guess that wraps everything up, guys.